Greetings everyone and welcome to a new series for the channel, a very often requested series I might add. We're going to be checking out Mind Over Magic. Now I don't know how much is in the early access as it is. I know that there's quite a lot more than there was in the demo at the very least, and so I'm happy to jump in at this point and see what Sparky Pants, the developers, and indeed Clay, the publishers, have managed to make of the build your own Hogwarts genre. Now, there are going to be some obvious big comparisons here, not least of which to Clay's other products, such as Oxygen Not Included, but also things like RimWorld and one of my personal favourites, Spellcaster University. But having played the game for about an hour, maybe 2 hours, just to kind of go through the tutorial, which for all intents and purposes was just the regular game, but with context-sensitive help popping up all the time, I can say that there is a strong inspirational feel that you can definitely tell where they have taken inspiration from those other games, but there is a lot of unique content here, a lot to enjoy if you are into the kind of build your own base style games, or indeed the build your own magical school style games, which I am starting to see a lot more games coming out, and I'm so happy that this is becoming its own genre of game itself. But to quote the developer blurb over on Steam, this is a game in which you are expected to design, build, and manage your magic school to explore what lies below, study lost arcana, grow exotic plants, brew potions, and raise undead servants. Only you can prepare your fragile students to harness their mind over magic. It is an EA title, so expect there to be changes throughout the series, depending on how long this goes on for, and we may eventually reach a point where there's just no more content for us to explore, but I'm fairly confident that that's at least several episodes in the future, depending on the pacing of the game. Of course, it is always easier to show than it is to describe, so let's go ahead and just jump into the game proper and see what there is to see about Mind Over Magic and why it has been so often requested here on the channel. And if by the end of the video you decide you enjoyed what you saw and you want to see more, do let me, and more importantly send Algorithmus a note down below with those lovely buttons. But without any further ado, let's get into the game. Once a school stood here. Time, however, ground that fine institution to rubble. I entrust to you the stewardship of a new age of magical learning. Rebuild the school, train brilliant new mages, explore the underschool. It won't be easy, but I believe you're up to the task. Though my body is long gone, my spirit yet lingers and will serve you faithfully. Heather, founder, Refuge of the Painful Tide. What a name of a school. You can rename it, but why would... That's an amazing school name. We're keeping it. Refuge of the Painful Tide it is. Alright then, the first big choice you've got are to select some staff. Now there's a lot of things to take in. We are not going to go over everything. We'll talk about them more when they come up in actual gameplay. But one thing to note, every mage has a primary stat that is based on the wand. This is the highest, usually, magic that they have, and also the magic that they will use in combat. Although they've got all of these skills, they only use this in their day-to-day jobs. In combat, it is purely the magic that the wand gives them, and this is what gives them their combat spells. These are just kind of associated, like their elemental affinities are associated with certain tasks. For example, air dictates how good they are at assembling, painting, and hauling. Their affinity towards the water magic is how good they are at alchemy and cleaning. And all of these things are also a part of teaching. A teacher can teach an element based on how well they know that element. So most teachers are pretty good at their primary element, and then, middling abilities with the others. Now, these can sometimes be a lot higher than normal based on the medals that they have. There's a lot to digest from this. Suffice it to say, choosing characters matters in the beginning. and I'm not seeing the characters that I want. There are certain skills that are more useful than others at the beginning. For example, Earth, which is a construction skill. It's also how we mine. We've also got Nature skill, which allows them to harvest and chop trees and tend to plants. We've got the Fire skill, which is good for cooking, and the Lightning skill, which is really important for research. Research in particular is going to be super important for us. The Dark skills don't really come up initially, and Air magic, again, not super high priority, nor is Water. So I'm going to go ahead and re-roll. I think what we're going to aim for is someone with a bit of Earth magic, someone with a bit of Lightning magic as their primary, and someone with Fire magic. And I shall bring it back when I've decided on our starting staff. Okay, and here we go. We have been joined by Encrypt, Manu, and Jitterbug. Thank you ever so much for your patron support, and welcome to the faculty. Encrypt over here is a vivified Earth mage who has some boosted speed, mana, and HP, and also some boosted HP and mana, so it has very high health. That is a particularly nice one for Vivified because they naturally have high health, so this is really doubling down. Not very much strength or speed, though, in terms of their actual combat potential, but that's going to be an important one because we're probably going to mostly be using them as a tank to lure attacks away. Now, combat isn't a huge part of this game, but it does exist, and so you do want to kind of have a mind to how you're setting up your initial faculty to be able to handle some early combat if it should arise. Then we've got Manu over here, the human fire mage, who has kind of middling stats for the most part, but will gain 1.5 times, or rather will gain their recreation stat 1.5 times faster. It won't be as big of a thing for us initially because we're probably going to be riding high and not having to worry too much about their recreation or their conviction, their sanity, if you like. But they love hunting, which is very, very much a great stat for someone who's a fire mage because hunting runs off the fire skill. So that's a particularly amazing role for us there. And finally, we've got Jitterbug over here, our wolfkin with lightning affinity. They have higher HP and also boosted speed, power, and HP. Now, this one was a really, really interesting pull because wolfkin, as a norm, have very low HP, but they've got high power and speed based on their race. So having all of the HP buffs actually puts them higher HP than our human, which is kind of a rare one. This is going to be really, really cool, I think. All right, with that done, let us go ahead and found our school. All right, now, I did have time to go through the initial tutorials in the game, the first hour, I think. So I turned off the tutorial messages because they kind of, it's very naggy in the beginning of the game. Most games with context-sensitive tutorial messages kind of drown you in them in the first hour or two of play. But the very first thing that we need to do, as you can see up here, it is covered in fog. Fog is bad, a deadly miasma from the depths of the dungeon. How it got onto the surface, who knows? Each night, the fog advances to consume the school. Performing a ritual to clear the mana font will force the fog to retreat. Perform the repel fog ritual at the mana font. Indeed, we shall. So, down here, we can click over here. We've got a couple of different rituals. One is to unlock the underschool, but we're actually going to need students for that one, so that's a little bit outside of our hands right now. But we're going to go ahead and repel the fog. This requires 1 staff and 5 minutes of time. Now, it doesn't really matter who we pick. Well, I'm going to grab Jitterbug just because, and this is going to give Jitterbug the font steward kind of status, which means they performed the first repel fog ritual at the mana font, which will give them +5 conviction, which again is more or less a sanity stat. So we're going to kick that one off. Now, we've got time controls down there as well, but we've got a couple of other things we can look at. We've got the student summoner over here. We've also got the book of rituals, which you can open up here to see all kinds of things. The things we can do with the mana font, the student summoner, and I imagine we'll expand this out over time. But up here, we've now kicked the fog back a little bit, and that has uncovered a bunch of materials that we can go and collect. And one of the things that I really, really quite enjoyed about the kind of conceptually how this game gives you materials is the fog will slowly roll in every day. Currently, it's 5 days away from our school. But as this rolls in, it covers the ground and everything there is lost for all intents and purposes. But when you kick it back, it completely regenerates what was there. So even if we cut all of this back and allowed the fog to roll in, if we then push the fog back, there'll probably be new trees, new stone, new dire rats, etc., etc. I think that's a really, really cool system of bringing us plenty of gubbins to play with. Now, we've got Heather over here, the old headmaster. Heather, the founder's grave contains Heather. Okay, so people can come over here. This will grow the Hallow Lily, given various conditions are met, like such as sun, nature, and all that sort of stuff. And it'll be harvested when it's ready. But the first thing that we're going to have to get down to, we've got this little bit of foundation here, and we are here to build a school. So build a school we must. Right, let's start off with gathering some things. What I've found in this game so far is that you very much don't want to over-gather. You want to gather the stuff you need and leave the stuff you don't. It's effectively a 2.5D game. It is full 3D, but you're more or less stuck on this pane. However, you can do a few things, like you can pitch the view forward, which actually allows you to get some better positioning for placing certain items and such. And I'm quite a fan of this style of presenting this information. It's not a full, like, kind of 2D sprite affair, but it isn't as overwhelming as having an entire playfield to explore in 3D. This kind of keeps you focused a little bit, and honestly, it just feels right for this kind of game where I want to build a wonky-looking magic school. I'm going to want to spend most of my time looking inside it, like a cross-section of the school, for all intents and purposes. Having fully realized 3D all the way around it would be kind of overkill, considering what I'm going to be spending most of my time looking at. Now, if we have a look at Heather, Heather is, across the board, super bland. I mean, there's no other way of putting it. They are one on everything. How they would have found her, I don't know. But I suppose maybe they lost a lot of their power when they died. I mean, the fact that their spirit is still around and can mine stone, I suppose when you think about it, that there's quite a lot to be said for that. I love that they mine by conjuring up a spike of earth and then whomping it down onto a rock. That's fantastic. And they equally harvest trees by conjuring a spectral axe. Everything is done with wands over here. I like it a lot. Right, now we started off with a little bit of research done, so we will have a few things since we started on the more relaxed difficulty. Because I'm very, very new at the game, I don't really know what on earth I'm doing, so we're checking things out from the very beginning. We will have a certain number of items already open to us. For example, we can build chests. I believe we can also build a gruel pot, and I think that might be the be-all end. Oh, and we can also build a gutberry planter. You might be wondering, why on earth would you want to? And that is a fair thing to ask. But we are going to need gutberries because, unfortunately for us, they are actually a prime component in both feeding people and also our rituals. So we're going to need gutberries for this, along with wood. Now, since we've started to gather up some stone and some wood, we can actually throw together some walls. The other thing that I have noticed about this game is that it is better to make just big enough for what you're going to do, rather than, you know, expanding everything out everywhere and just building massive rooms, which then become hard to light, hard to actually fit other things around. For example, I know that I'm going to want a central staircase going up, so I'm just going to build that there, and then I'm going to have another door on the far side of it, and that will do me then for this whole area. Now, I'm going to want them to be able to move in and out, and if you have played Spellcaster University, you'll probably be quite familiar with the idea of having portals on the kind of fronts of the rooms for your staff and students to move back and forth, and this is very similar. I can't imagine that this game was developed and imagined in a vacuum and completely away from Spellcaster University. It seems there's so much inspiration taken here, but I haven't actually looked into this. I haven't had the time to check if that has been acknowledged or if that was indeed the case. I suppose, you know, everything is possible, especially in a world of wibbly-wobbly magic, but this has so much of the same vibe as Spellcaster University. It would be very, very interesting to find out if they had both come into existence completely isolated from one another. Right, there we go. So this is going to be our chamber going up into our school, and as soon as a room has walls, walls and a roof, it becomes a room proper and will then allow us to place things inside. But until then, we're going to want a couple of things. Namely, we're going through the day right now. Everyone has a schedule, everyone has priorities, and we will be looking at these properly once I get down to things. But I don't want to overload everyone with a million different tasks and spend the first 40 minutes setting up the game before we actually start playing it. I'm already feel like I'm going quite slowly as far as things go, but this should be okay. Let's pop some cots down here. Actually, we don't need that many cots, since our spirit over here will never actually occupy a cot. They don't need to sleep, they don't need to eat, which is actually kind of amazing. Now, in terms of the rooms, there are quite a few rooms that we can have. We can have bedrooms, classrooms, dining rooms, workshops, so on and so forth. One of the things that we really need to get going early on is our ability to do further research. So I'm going to have a look and see how big of an area we're going to need for that. Not too much, all things said and done. You could probably just tuck this right at the back there, or you could turn it around if you particularly wanted to and have it occupy a little bit more space. Perhaps we could have this on the back wall in this room, for example. Sure, I don't think there's really much of a problem. If I have a look in workshops just to see what we need, we want one or more research or crafting station, and has to be lofted. Okay, so another thing, this is actually, I love the fact that they've made this a mechanic, because it does kind of force you to build very wonky and interesting looking buildings, and I think that's perfect for a magic school. This is perhaps a little bit too low of a ceiling there. I dislike it, but we'll maybe move that around a little bit more. But coming back to rooms, so rooms require certain keywords. There's elevated, grounded, towered, skewed, lofted, private, and isolated. And if you hover over them, it'll explain it. Like, a private room has one and only one entrance. Isolated has none. I have no idea how we're going to be making one of those, but we'll see. Lofted, it's taller than it is wide. Skewed means that one wall is shorter than the other. Towered means that it has nothing above, left, or right of it, so it's kind of, the top of a tower. Grounded means that it has to be in touch with the floor or a supporting pillar, or underground, I guess. Or actually, it might literally be must touch the foundation. I thought a support pillar would also help. Elevated just means that there's no adjacent rooms or foundations below it, so it has to be up off the ground. Now, a workshop needs to be lofted, so it needs to be taller than it is wide. And since that is the requirement, I'm going to just go ahead and place this down at the far end of this room. We are then going to construct a wall over here. Now, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 walls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tall. Let's make it 6 tall on each side. Something maybe along these lines, something like this. We'll take it all the way up to that point, and we'll draw a floor across the top. This should make this a lofted room. Now, I'm going to put a door on this one, whereas I only put archeries over there, because I don't want any of the critters outside just being able to get inside. But this will be our research room, and we're going to probably want something quite similar over on the far side for my workshops. There is one other building that we've got, though, and that is we've got the cauldron, so we can cook things. It needs one or more cooking station and be grounded. That's all we're going to need for this, for the scullery. Alright, that seems like an easy one for me to set up, so let's go ahead and make a gruel pot. It's a fairly small device, so we can put it, for example, somewhere about here. We could actually make this a very, very narrow room. Sure, let's go ahead and make it an incredibly teeny tiny scullery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, actually, let me see if I can fit my... Ooh, the one shaper needs sinew. Okay, let me get some sinew. The best way, which is to take it straight out of another creature. There we are. It's the only way, as far as I'm aware, unless there are some very meaty plants out there. But we should be able to set that up. I think the wand shaper, which is also going to be a workshop, we're going to need that to be about 4 wide. I could be wrong about that, though. Right, now, there are other ways of us gathering our resources or selecting them. And what I found is over here we've got wilderness. Now this shows us everything. Right now I can see everything in one screen. It's not going to be too hard, but later on, as we push the fog further and further back to uncover more and more rare resources, because much more interesting resources spawn further away from the school, we are going to rely on this increasingly. So I can see all the dire rats, I can see all the various plants, I can see the mineral deposits. So what I'm going to do is I could just choose some stone outcrops. There are quite a few stone outcrops, and I can see by hovering over it, it highlights them for me, so it's a lot easier for me to see. Right now I've selected 39 units by just drawing out my selection box. And I want to find specifically the stone outcrops. Now I've got all of them selected, and I click on mine, and so they'll all be taken care of now. And there we go, we've got a little workshop over here. Fantastic, I'm very, very happy with that. There we go. So this is going to take them a little bit to get all that stone together for me. We can go for the large stone outcrops because there's a lot more resources in those, but we're not going to worry too much. Now, you might be wondering, what on earth is going to go on over here? Well, I'm thinking of putting in a stair up there just to make this extra wonky. Truly, it's going to be the greatest of magic schools. It's going to look like a proper magic school, and that's the whole point we're playing this game. That's the whole point I'm playing this game anyway. Right, now, this should be 1, 2, 3, and 4, so I could probably safely put this wall over here, I'm thinking. Something like that. And I could then expand out this floor across. Blocked by floor, there we go. And then on this side as well, bring that across, and there we are. And it's going to create interesting little texture bits here and there, which I'm quite a fan of. Now, one thing I'm not doing is lighting these rooms up, and we really should, because if we hit F2, it shows us the lighting. The void shrooms will spawn in these rooms in a few hours because they're not lit. That is kind of a problem. Void shrooms are basically mushrooms that seem to eat people's mana, and people don't find it very fun when their mana is eaten, which I can only imagine is true of all mages, really. Why would they like it? Oh, incoming fog. We've got quite a few days, though, so we're not going to have to worry too much about that one. Actually, I kind of want to take out as many of the animals, the dire rats, as we can, because we need a lot of viscera to do any... to make the torches, which I do have questions about that, but you know what, I'm not going to ask them, it's magic. Right, there we go. Hopefully all of these will be... Why is that unreachable exactly? It should be reachable, well, I guess. Oh, damn, I've locked all of my... all of my wizards over on this side. I can only imagine that's why the hallway was made free. It's like... all these stupid people just getting themselves dug into holes, unable to get out. Yeah, fair. Guilty as charged. Right, so as for lighting, we've got a couple of different colored torches. I'm thinking let's make the main room over here nice and bright. So let's pop some lights down there. Oh, we're going to need a little bit more viscera, I should imagine, for that one. Can I not place that there? Oh, it's blocked with the stairs. Okay, well, I'll move these down a little bit more then, so it's not blocked with the stairs anymore. Let's cancel that assemble. There we are. In here, let's go for, since this is a research area, I feel like research area maybe go for a little bit of a more greenish hue. And we should be able to fit these around there. The cook area, we can go with just regular yellow torches. And then this workshop over here can be... it's going to be a little bit more of an awkward one to make symmetrical. So I'm going to put these lamps up nice and high, I think. That should make for a better view in here. Can I fit that one in? Need resources. I need some more viscera. Alright. Sorry, rat. I would let you live normally, but sadly I need your insides to turn into torches. Again, don't ask why. I imagine this place stinks to high heavens if all the torches are made out of rat bits. I mean... Tallow makes for horrible smelling candles, but viscera-fueled torches, that's taking it to a whole other level. Alright, we can speed things along though, a little bit here and there, and if we have a look now with F2, we should see that the void shrooms are going to be spawning far less frequently. There we are, we're already up to the point where this one doesn't need this, so we're going to actually cancel the assemble there. We're already at 53% lit, and right now we're only going for the bare minimum, I think. We should be good with that. Let's have a look at you. Are the others asleep? Yes, they are. They've all gone downstairs to have a bit of a kip. Is this place well lit? Yes, it is. Okay, well, in that case, we definitely don't need these then. One lamp was all we needed. I would imagine that we might be okay with just 2 then. So let's take this one out, and you know what? We're going to make this match up the top as well. So I'm going to build a copy. We'll place this one around there. There we go. That should be perfectly fine. Right, so 1 lamp right now gives us, 31%. So we're not going to need 2, so I can cancel that one quite happily. I will keep that one on the back there. I like having things a little bit asymmetrical. This is going to drive some people nuts because I'm going to go all in on the wonk and squiff effect of having a magic school. Okay, the towers are not meant to look symmetrical or even at all stable. In fact, we get bonus points for it looking like it is ready to fall over if the wind thinks about blowing, much less actually does. But there we go. Everything is set up in there, and our staff are still snoozing the days away. We can have a look at them, and we can get some more information at this point. I can see, for example, that you're very well rested. Rested is sleep status. I don't know if this fully fills up. Do you get some sort of massive benefit out of this? Let's have a look what happens when that maxes out. Do you get a mood buff, for example? And no, you don't. Then we probably won't be doing that. Some of them, if you can get into the higher ranges, actually give them some sort of buff, but it doesn't look like that's the case over here. Now, all the way through the night, our spirit has been doing little bits and bobs, but now we've got access to research we can properly have a look at. Oh my god, so many things to research. Many of them, however, are gated by resources we have yet to unlock. Now, we've got a couple of things that we can go for right away. Well, actually, that one's already gated. We could get some rustic dining, get a proper place for people to eat. Could get some better lighting. Could even possibly get a medical bed over here. We could build a grave. Who wouldn't want a grave? We could get our first pet, the midden jelly. A refining beast that processes non-humanoid corpses and turns them into useful reagents. We all need one of these in our lives, I fancy. Though, an interesting thing with refining beasts, they can only be tended by students. Apparently, the faculty feel it's beneath them to interact with the refining beast. So it's a job only for students, which I mean, I get that it's a kind of a neat little mechanic, because it really means that you always do need students in your university, which, you know, other than it being a university, one would have assumed that was the goal anyway. But, you know, you straight up need them for keeping the refining beast in check. But I can't imagine I would want to be a teacher in this learning institution, being forbidden for interacting with the refining beasts. My lord, what kind of fresh hell is this? Dancing the night away, though, we could get recreation. For up to 4 mages at once, placeable on floors and on the ground. Well, we're not setting up recreation just yet. I think we're going to want a delightful decomposition. We'll also learn how to make graves as a process. Now, thankfully, this is one of those games where you can learn through several things. If I wanted to learn all the way down here, it would just queue everything up as needed down the path. But there's lots of things for us to look at. And if we think about this, probably, I mean, this is probably like the death or the dark kind of route. This is water, maybe fire, air, nature. We don't really have, well, maybe this is more earth actually, but it's a bit of a weird one. It doesn't line up with the elements as are on the wands, and I'm wondering about the color. Or maybe it's just there to make them visually distinct. I don't know, but that one definitely seems to be water because it's got the alchemical area, and this is how you unlock certain wands as well. We can get the water tier 2 wand, and we'll get to making wands in a moment though, because right now we need to continue building out our school. Let's go ahead and pop the wand shaper down there. Speaking about wands, we need wands in order to summon students. You can't summon a student who doesn't have a wand. And the wand binds to the student. Apparently, it's deeply abhorrent, the idea of using someone else's wand. Perish the thought. But once you said it was deeply abhorrent, all of a sudden I kind of wanted to know why. Anyway, so we're going to want to set up a couple of more rooms around here. And I think having a... Well, this is kind of more of a landing because the stairs are at the back. I wonder if this would allow the stairs to go forward, though. Let's see. No, it doesn't. Stair does not end at a floor or foundation. Okay, well, maybe I'm going to need to move these around a little bit. Let's learn together, shall we? Maybe if I do that on this side, if I rotate that around and bring the stairs down, does that allow us to go in? Let's see if I can do that on this side. No. I'm going to need to... Oh, I'm going to have to wait for that to go out of the way. But we're going to need that on both sides anyway. That being said, I could always just have the room here be very different, but I kind of like the idea of this kind of this initial central hallway existing. I wonder, if I build this up, though, will that block it off? No, it doesn't. It gives me a door. Okay, that's fantastic. I greatly approve. Do I need to put something over there, though? Oh, is this considered part of the same room as a consequence? I have questions. So many questions burning in my brain. Let's bring this down, though, and see if we can't get that as well. Maybe what we could do is turn this into a bit of a storage area, because right now there's stuff outside, and I can't leave it outside, because when the fog advances, it dies. Also, it'll take damage when it rains, and on the topic of rain, we probably need to put down a roof before I forget. So, roofs... and this is going to burn some people's brains, but I find it beautiful. You've got the wonk option, okay? You can make roofs in different orientations, all nice and straight and uniform, or you can just go, ha ha ha, no, not on my watch. And that is exactly what we're going to be doing. Maybe not maximum wonk. There can be too much wonk in your life. Well, let's go for 75% wonk. There we are, something like that. There we go. Perfect. Now, that'll make this into a room, but I am wondering if this is considered all the same room or not. We will find out when this is roofed in, because it'll have walls and a roof. And if these apertures are not considered doors, and instead this is all considered one large area, then this won't become a room, or at least as far as I understand. However, we're going to need smoke. There we go. Smoke reeds, I believe it was. There we are. Let's grab a couple of those. Now, our researchers, or as they've got time, they'll pop down there and check that out. But we want the smoke reeds in order to build some storage. We need 1 smoke stick, 5 stone, and 5 wood. We haven't got that much wood, unfortunately. That is a bit of a problem. All right, let's close these down for now. I don't need to see them. Let's select this. I would like to chop those trees, and select some of the trees over here and chop those as well. There we go. And as soon as we've got the smoke sticks, I will get some storage over here so that we've got somewhere to bring all of the gubbins inside. Hopefully, there we go. Perfect. Ooh, we've actually got quite a lot of space over on this side. I wonder, we could have an entire wall of chests back here, but it would kind of obscure our view of what's going on, which I'm not 100% about. Instead, I think we're going to just have them line... Oh, it did make a room. Well, that is fantastic. Alright, well, it's going to be very... This room is way too big. I immediately see the error of my ways, in that I don't want the room to be as big as this. That was more of a test, really, than anything else, because this is going to be a bugger to light. That being said, I mean, maybe we do want some sort of central storage space, but for now, let's focus on a couple of other things. I would like a bedroom, if nothing else, and to make a bedroom, let's have a quick gander. Now, in the basic difficulty, in the standard difficulty, all of the rooms have set adjectives. So an austere bedroom will always need to be private, and a private quarters will always need to be elevated and private. on the relentless difficulty, because there's only 2 difficulties, or you can like customize it, which I actually really appreciate, being able to customize certain things. You can make it so that at the start of the game, the room adjectives are randomized. So you might have an austere bedroom that required it to be grounded. So you can only have bedrooms on the ground floor. Also isolated. that would be brutal. It's like, yeah, the bedroom has to have no windows or doors. No way in. Best bedroom. But for now, we seem to have escaped that particular problem. And I would like to maybe extend this room maybe out a little bit more. And then we are going to build this one up to a regular height. I don't think it needs to be too tall, but something about there should do. And we'll bring a floor across. You notice how that wouldn't have allowed me to build this, but then the moment it got support from this side as well, all was forgiven. I approve. Right, we'd like to move some beds up as well. Let's steer clear of the wall there, and I want to leave a bit of a gap between the beds so that people can actually move around them a little bit. Get this one up here too. Gonna have to wait actually on that one, so we'll give that a little bit for now. Now, how are these going over here? Let's have a quick gander. Right, the chests are made, and you can choose what goes in them if you want to be really, really organized. Ultimately, we will, but right now it's just a case of let's just get everything inside. And it's at this point that I feel that it's important for us to properly have a gander at our priorities, because some people are much better at certain jobs than others. This is probably signifying that this is the skill that their wand works with. So I'm going to say, sure, you can have top priority on one of the jobs that your wand works with. Let's go for... you can have cooking, and the others just get a bit of a bonus, because I would prefer people to be doing the things they're good at rather than something which they're not good at. And for our earth mage, I'm going to say construction is the most important job. That's almost unnecessary to have that double priority there. It feels very much like RimWorld priorities right now, which I'm a big fan of. And now that that room is set up, let's go ahead and move these over, and we've now got an austere bedroom. Let's go with a green wallpaper, just because we can, really. And we'll bring this one up here as well. Different rooms have different benefits. This is a really strong nod, I feel, to oxygen not included in the way its rooms worked. So over here, we've got plus 2.5 to conviction while someone is sleeping. Research, the workshops are just making things work a little bit faster. This one gets, it's got grounded and lofted. You can actually see, I really appreciate this actually, being able to see the adjectives on the rooms themselves, which is pretty cool. This one's lofted but no effect, and is also really dark, and so is the bedroom. Thinking about it, we probably want to go in there and sort some things out. But we do now have the Midian jelly and graves and gutterberry plants. We probably want to plant those fairly soon, in fact right away. I will get on that in a moment. Let's go ahead and pop some lamps down the far side. That might help out a little bit. And also let's pop in another cot if we can. There we are. That way we've got plenty of room for our sleepers. Now this room, I kind of feel like we might be worthwhile making this just a central storage area, and I'm okay with that idea. And for this, I'm going to rise... Oh, can I select that? There we go. Rise this all the way up to the same level as this room over here. And then we can kind of line them up at that point. There we go. We'll keep this as a loft, but this will reduce the total area of this room, because if we look at the lighting required, it's divided by the amount of cells in the room. So that's how we get to how easy it is to have it be well lit, for example. So I want to reduce the complete area of this room just a little bit, so it isn't a complete pain for us to get lit properly. We'll try it out with this and just see how that goes. Now, it is important to have roofs and not just floors, because rain will still leak through a floor into the room below. It just won't be as bad as if it was completely uncovered. Now, with all of that done, we need a little bit more research. We have managed to grab ourselves the Midian jelly. At this point, then, we might want to go for Light My Fire, which is going to give us much stronger lights, though they're going to require more involved components to make, but still might be worth us going for. But I think rustic dining is the first thing we want. You know what? I've gone to the effort of building this this area down here. I haven't set up any meals to be made yet. But honestly, gut berries, I'm fairly certain that they get the same kind of negative from just eating gut berries as it is. Well, let's see. Do I have any gut berries in storage, perhaps? I might do. Let's just pause it there and let's have a look at gut berries. No. Barely edible berry that grows locally. Everyone hates eating it, but it'll keep them alive. Alright, well, if I hover over this, does this give me any kind of information on what the negatives of eating it are? No, it doesn't look like it. Oh well. Right, well, I'm going to harvest a bunch of gut berries then. Let's grab those, harvest, and the same on this side. Anything on in this kind of area, let's go for the gut berries specifically. Let's get those going. But let's start off our garden as well. So we want a gutberry planter. We're probably going to need a decent amount. Wow, that takes a lot of wood to make, though. My lord. Oh, actually, no, it's the gutberries themselves. No, it's stone. Oh, okay, fair enough. Well, let's go for some of the larger stone crops then. Let's go for mining on those two large stone plots. Right, how's the lighting in here? Lighting isn't all the way in. That's... Oh, actually, no, that will just get us over the 50% mark, which is going to be fantastic. And this is sadly still a massive room, so we don't know if that's going to be enough. But this one will be just enough. We very, very almost didn't have what we needed there. That's interesting, though, because I don't think I can put a door over on that side. But it's quite cool that we can have them moving in the front or in the back of the area, which is, I think, pretty funky. Now, we can use the carcasses. We can have carcass stew. A meal everyone will eat. Doesn't taste good, but a step up from gutberries, apparently. Or we can make gutberry soup. Barely edible soup. Still nasty, but better than eating gutberries raw. Are you sure about that? This will drop their conviction when they eat it. But, you know what, let's just do until we have... Let's go all the way up to 10 carcass stews, and I will also have 10 gutberry soups as well. You can actually do this a little bit easier with control, and we'll just keep those available to us. Now, Encrypt won't care. Encrypt will just eat anything, and Jitterbug will also just gnaw on a living dire rat rather than eat gutberry anything. So the only person who's really going to be struggling is Manu, and that is very clear in their conviction. Look at the others. Their conviction is nice and high, and then Manu is like, yeah, I honestly kind of hate being alive right now. Fair enough. Feeling slightly unsafe because the fog is looming. And 8 outside of a dining area. That old chestnut. 8 without a dining table. Let's have a look in terms of dining rooms. What have we got? We've got a dining room, which gives conviction to all staff. It needs to be luxurious and lofted. Mess hall, which also needs to be lofted. They all need to be lofted. You know what? You're not going to get... Well, was that a problem with not having a dining area? 8 outside of dining. I don't like eating in a room that wasn't dedicated. Oh, damn it. Alright then. Well, I'm going to need to make a lofted room then for that, which is kind of against what I was hoping for. But, alright. Let's make an area in here. Well, as soon as we can, anyway, we'll set something up around in there. But I'm glad that people are at least sleeping in nice rooms, because that is giving them a bump to their conviction as a consequence of it. Now, as for making wands, wand crafting. Now, early on, I don't think we're going to be able to hire any of the students that we pick up, because to hire, we're going to need a ritual room, and I'm also of the belief that you need adept scrolls, which you get from graduating your students. The graduation in this is nothing like the graduation in Spellcaster University. It is far less complex. It has far less far-reaching consequences on the rest of your gameplay. It's just something you do to get a bit of a resource. So it doesn't really matter who we take on. So let's take on someone who has a similar skill set to one of the ones we've already got. That way I don't really care about it too much. We could just get a fire wand who only needs a bunch of wood. We could get... you know what? We could get a lightning rod because we've got everything we need for that. So let's go ahead and get a lightning wand, and then we will get a new student ever so soon. In terms of rituals, we could go for the superior repel fog, which would need 9 gut berries and a decent amount of wood. But 1 to 3 staff, 1 to 3 people, and they must be staff. Fair enough. That wouldn't be too bad. I've also got this over here that I'm hoping someone will come along and plant in very soon. And also I would like to set up some more planters there. So we've got plenty of gut berries coming in. And while we're here, I'm going to harvest those phoenix kisses and the wormwood wormweed rather as well. There you go. Right, people should go out and start clearing stuff up. And then as soon as we've got that wand, in fact, I think you've already made it. Yes, you have. Fantastic. Let's get our first student. Now, the students as well will be named. I don't know which ones I'm going to keep, which ones I'm not going to keep. So it's just like luck of the draw on this one, because it all comes down to what stats they have and if suddenly I need someone when otherwise I didn't think I would. It all comes down to the luck of the draw, because the wands have the stated level that the wand will be at, and that'll give you an idea of the spells that this wand will just be able to cast out of the box once the student has learned that kind of magic, and they do need to spend time learning it. But the other items over here, it means that any of these, the highest it could be is 2, and it's random what they would be. Everyone is born with a different magical potential, and that's probably for the better, because the more magical potential you have, the less stable your brain is, and the more likely you are to have very low conviction, which is a little bit of a concern there. But who are we going to have summon? You know what, let's have Jitterbug do it, since it's going to be a lightning user. It doesn't really matter. I don't think it actually has any real effect on this. But let's go ahead and start the summoning ritual. Now, the sad part about this is I don't actually have anywhere to teach. So that's going to be a problem in and of itself. Right, how are we doing down? Oh, we were just there. Right, we're just a little bit too far out, so I'm going to have to pop another torch somewhere like here, and that should be enough. This room is not going to be okay. And there we go. We've got Alan over here. Hello, Alan. Another Vivified. Okay, you've got a lightning one. Let's have a look at your magical capabilities. You've got a potential of 2 in air and 2 in dark. Jitterbug has 2 in air and 2 in fire. Interesting. Then otherwise, you're pretty similar. You've got 5 power, 175 mana, and 175 health and 90 mana. You've got no death saves, and that's a really important thing about new students. They are squishy. However, whereas all of our current staff have only 2 medals that are bolstering them, new students have 3, and I think that only goes up with the tier of their wand. So you can have Mess Hall Diner. You just need to eat in the Mess Hall Common Room or House Commons 10 times, and this will earn Speed Recreation. You'll just get satisfied from Recreation a little bit faster. You'll recharge your Recreation. Ooh, who's in the school? What? What the dickens? Oh. Oh no. So, ooze grows from filth, damages furniture in filthy rooms. I need you to pay more attention to cleaning up after yourselves. The moment I saw that with all the junk sticking out of it, I was like, oh no, I think we may have made this one ourselves. Casting Slam at Gruel Pot. Okay, so you can hold down shift to get more information. Filth, disgusting fluids and debris created by cooking, crafting, and some creatures. Clean to remove. Okay, well, could someone please go and murder this as a high priority? You can go ahead and pop that priority nice and high there. Our student is just wandering around. We'll finish looking at our student before I do anything else, though. So, Alan over here has Rested Fighter. They've got the Serenity and the Tenacity over here. Oh, I see. So that's what these colors match the research. So got blue is tenacity, kind of science, serenity. Green is wisdom. Kind of the yellowish gold is spirit, and red is heart. So rested fighter, bronze shroud. Defeat a 1 skull or higher enemy party while rested. This would give more speed, power, and max mana, which is actually really nice. It would give you some combat stats. And you also want to charge mana lanterns 3 times. And this will give you Love's Harvesting. Gain 5 conviction for 4 hours after a harvest task. I mean, those are okay, but none of them are amazing, so I don't really think Alan's going to stay here. But for as long as Alan is here, which might be a while, depending on when we get a room that we can actually teach him, we need a name. Everyone please say hello to Aquatami, the lightning mage. Look, okay, you were challenging convention. Perhaps your parents were water mages and you just want to break out of their shadow. Nevertheless, let's get our mages in here to deal with this. Let's see how that ooze goes. Did that leave anything interesting? Ooze splatter. And the remains of a dead ooze, a mess for someone to clean. Oh, really? Man, that sucks a bit. Let's get this cleaned. Man doesn't like having to use water magic. But right now, our poor Aquatami doesn't have anything to do. If we have a look at the schedule, you should be learning right now. If only we had a place for you to learn. Man, it's almost like the person running this school didn't prepare or something. However, you can do a few jobs, Aquatami. And one of them, that you're already getting to, is hauling. But anything that has a skill associated to it, I guess even hauling does to a certain degree. In fact, I think hauling may actually be, yeah, it's actually run on air. Let me have a look at your magical traits. Yeah, you don't have any air magic yet. So it isn't based on the wand, but all students, I believe, have the ability to haul, to charge mana lanterns, to take care of refining beasts, and to rest in a medical bed. And for now, that's the only thing that you can do. I'm going to pop up cleaning for Encrypt, who does have a little bit of skill with water. Encrypt, I'm really... Actually, you know what? No. Heather, could you please help out with the cleaning? Thank you. I very much need that to be taken care of. Alright, well, we've got a little bit more that we need to do. So, over here, I would like very, very much... we've already got dining complete, which is brilliant. Let's see, what else did we want to work on that we don't need to do too much? Let's get dancing the night away so we can get some recreation as well. We've got many things that we need to do. But, let's get a dining table. We're going to need an ice petal for this, apparently. Very well. Ice flower, could you please harvest that? And we could use the superior repel fog, and maybe doing that after it rolls in first would be wise, because it'll get rid of some of the gubbins on the floor that I'm not actually bringing in with me. Whilst we're working on that, I would like a room for setting up as a classroom. Have a look at classroom. So the basic classroom, you just need a learning stone. The intermediate classroom, you need a learning stone and a bookshelf. So that's going to be something that a little ways away from us. Then you can go up to advanced classroom, and all of these make learning a little bit better. Much like the Spellcaster University, though, you can also have very specific learning rooms, which have much stronger learning effects, but for a very specific skill rather than across the board. We will definitely get to that, but not right now. This one's going to spawn some stuff very soon. Maybe we want to avoid that. We will have to decide. However, let's see about... oh, we can plant a bitter rice. Do we want to plant bitter rice? Can I make bitter... I can make bitter gruel. Fantastic. A meal everyone will eat. Doesn't taste good, but it is a step up from gut berries. Everything is a step up from gut berries. You don't need to keep harping on about that one. We're going to rise this up, and once again, going to set this one up to do 10 of them. Let's have 10 at a time. Let's plant some bitter rice then. Bitter rice has to be planted outside, whereas these have planters, which means you can plant them inside. You need to plant bitter rice on the ground. But have we... Oh, recreation has already been unlocked? Really? Wow. We're doing quite a good job with the research right now. Basic rituals will allow us to graduate students, but that's not a priority for me right now. Okay, let's go down the lighting route. We'll get the mana lantern, which some have mentioned that they want to charge. However, we don't have the mana crystal, and I believe you can only get that from like pursuing certain fights. So it's probably going to be something we'll check out next episode. But getting these braziers would be fantastic for us because they're worth 2 torches and they don't pull down luxury. You may have noticed that the torches do. And then there's candelabra, which is a luxury item, does increase luxury, provides even more light. And one thing to note, it says light and then in square brackets fire because different lights are different things. For example, out here they need sunlight. And there is light sun on the outside. We can't actually see it because it doesn't show you. But the whole world is very light. There's also moonlight. And some items actually produce moonlight, which is a bit of an interesting one. But let's go ahead. I think we want to make an area for our student to learn at. We're going to need some more viscera. Always the viscera. Let's go out and hunt then. Let's take out these dire rats. And once the fog rolls in tonight, I'm going to push it back a little bit more. Now, like I've mentioned, I don't want to overload people. So this first episode, I know that anyone who's familiar with the game will be like, why aren't you playing around with groups? Why aren't you changing the schedule? I'm just going to leave that for the next episode, and then I'll go into it in a little bit more detail. But for now, we're just going to fly close to the sun and try not to get burnt. That it never works, of course, but we will do our best. Let's bring this up to about... Let's have 4 there. We're going to do the same on this side, right up to there, and then we're going to have a nice big old roof over the top. Something along these lines. That's perfect, but it's not wonky enough, so it's not perfect. Why did I say it was perfect? There we go. We'll pop a little door. Oh, can I not put a door there? There we go. And I'm going to need to change this roof, but that's fine. This is now turned into a room again, but it won't be for very long because I'm going to take that part of the roof away. I wonder if I can just build the roof out from here. I wonder how it works with roofs. But we're definitely going to need some lighting up here as well, so let's try and get on top of that one. Let's pop down. No, we need the viscera for it. That's kind of annoying, but oh well. Right, everything is creeping in, and we no longer have the gut berries. Poop. That might be a very, very dangerous situation for us to find ourselves in. Do we have enough? We need only a few more gut berries to do a basic cast, so we'll have to hope for that, I suppose. Are we making more gutberry soup? No, we've made all of the gutberry soup that we could possibly want, so that should be fine for now. Let's allow our staff to get a little bit more growing on. And our one student can sleep up here as well. We've actually got one more bed than we need, but that's fine for the time being, I would say. Are these... No, these are Phoenix Kisses. Well, hopefully we're going to have the gutberries that we're going to need. We might have waited a little bit too long for that one. Especially considering we already have all the food that we need. We'll take out all of the dire rats, though. Let's get to work on that one. And we'll just allow our spirit through the night to build up this... the learning stone. Now, our student will be able to start learning, which is going to be very, very useful for us. Right, how long will these take to grow? Growth rate, they will be harvestable very soon, actually. Okay, phew, we're probably safe then. We're probably not going to be killed by the fog encroaching in the very first episode, but maybe this is not the vote of confidence that people were looking for in the first episode, to almost be eaten by the fog because I made too many of my berries into food. Worst part is, no one wants the food that I made out of them either. Oh, I love that, though. Basic classroom, there we go. Plus 50% learning rate. I love the wallpaper. That is absolutely amazing. Right, now, in terms of the roof, can I just continue the roof down? I might be able to, yes. And I can adjust the wonk. Okay. That'll do. We'll just get that made. Right. Now, as soon as the gutberries are... Please don't eat the... Oh, my lord. Vivified. They eat anything, so they're going for the lowest quality stuff, which is the gutberries on the ground. I brought that one on myself, I guess. Right. We are going to want... We've got a diamond table that I'm going to put outside. No, I'm not. But you'll notice that it does actually leak inside, and if it leaks on an object, that object will take damage as if it was outside, which is kind of amusing to me. I really do like that little detail. Let's go for... Ooh, we've got the blue brazier. Let's pop that one down in the corner then. Let's try and light that room with this instead. And we'll have a... a red brazier in here just to help out a bit. Right, have we got enough to push this back? We've got enough to cast it once, then let's do it. Let's push this back. We need 3 people on this one, so Manu, you're coming down here, and Encrypt as well. I am sorry, classes are cancelled for now. And we can get the fog pushed back. We're at least teaching a student something, which is certainly a good way to start, in my opinion. I took too long focusing on the teacher's comfort and not getting up the actual point of this university, which I feel a little bit bad about. Right, that did not push it back nearly as far as it did previously, so that is definitely something that we're going to need to worry about. Let's try and select all of the potential gut berries. There we go, gut berry vines. There are 8 of them. Let's get them all gathered. Right, what's the light in this room? Not very great. 30% there, 32% here. We should be able to push it over the edge if we just pop and... Well, I could have 2 braziers in this room, sure. But this one's not going to get 2 braziers. This one will get just a couple of... Oh, I can't even put it up at that high. Okay, well, I'll do this then. That should be more than enough. Cancel that assignment. And that way we should have that room sorted out. Okay, now, if I want to push this back even further, I will need a lot more gut berries. I could push this back right now, though. There doesn't really seem to be a reason not to, just to give us a little bit more breathing room. But before I wrap the episode up, I want to have all of the basic facilities in place. So, next step for us is to have a look at how big this table is. Let's see. Furniture, dining table. Oh, that's a fairly modest thing. We are going to want to see... Since staff will simply get conviction out of eating in a dining room, it's only really the students that get trials and medallions. And once they become staff, their trials and medallions lock in place. Because becoming staff is effectively you graduated and you were also given a job straight away, living the dream of a university student with that one. However, once they are staff, they can't continue to work on these anymore. They're locked in place. And since only students will get something that tells them, hey, I wanna eat in a certain type of room, let's make the dining room that will give the students the benefit. Let's see. So that would be a mess hall. For this, we need 2 or more dining tables, and it needs to be lofted. That shouldn't be a problem for us. So let's pop one there and one there. And just make sure the room is taller than it is wide. And it's only 4 wide, so as long as this is more than 4 there, and we just pop a little roof right at the top, this will probably work. Let's have a quick gander. Something like this should give us enough of a room to work with. And if this turns into a mess hall, then job's a good one. And we'll have the beginnings of a fine little institution here. Let's see, let's go up. There we go. And pop. Mess hall. Perfect. Right, we're going to need a little bit of lighting in here. I'm not going to put a candelabra in the mess hall. Right, there we go. Get one of those. I think we'd only need 2 lanterns for such a small room. This should be perfect. But I'm afraid that is all the time that we have for today. So I hope you've enjoyed this first step into the world of Mind Over Magic. Again, this has been a game that I have had people request so frequently that I'm surprised it's taken me this long to jump into it, but I'm very, very glad that I have. I am loving what I am seeing so far. It definitely has that kind of feel of what if Spellcaster University was also merged with RimWorld or Oxygen Not Included. Probably Oxygen Not Included is the better one to use for comparison, but I'm really, really enjoying both the gameplay and the aesthetic that this game is delivered in, and I hope you are as well. As ever, though, if you've made it this far, and thank you very much for doing so, do let me know down below what you're thinking about the game, and if you would like to see more, then be sure to let St. Algorithmus know with those lovely buttons. But that's going to be all for now. So until next time, and as always, From everyone here at the Refuge of the Painful Tide, including Heather, Manu, Encrypt, Jitterbug, and of course Aquatami, and of course myself. Do take care, everyone.